Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you are watching this, welcome back to another episode of Drive Time Crypto with me, Crypto Chris, where I aim to bring you the latest news and events happening within cryptocurrency and blockchain. As always, a free way to support this channel and the things that I do. If I could ask you to give me a like, a comment, or even better, if you're new here, could you please subscribe to the channel, because it all helps with YouTube's algorithms. With that being said, let's start the engine and get to the first pit stop. As always, the first pit stop is price news, and there isn't a lot of price news around at the moment. And it's really because there's not been too much movement within the market and what's going on within the space. But the first one reads, why Bitcoin needs to clear 64,000 for hopes of a fresh rally. Bitcoin's price started a fresh increase from 60,000 against the US dollar. Bitcoin is back above 62,000, but it must also clear 64 for the hopes of a fresh rally. Bitcoin recovers losses and was able to climb above 62,500 resistance. So basically, yeah, because the price hasn't moved and the articles are looking for something to say, they always pull out what they deem as a suitable figure for something that we've got to clear for it to be a fresh start, even though we've just been over 64, even though the market's holding above 62, really. Well, it's holding between 60 and 64. It's quite stable at the moment. They still seem to feel like they need to put these figures out and say that we must do this for it to do something else. But nevertheless, that was really the only Bitcoin sort of price news. The next article I found was Bitcoin bull market second leg has started, says Bitcoin price model creator. The popular prediction model has been remarkably accurate in the past when it comes to forecasting Bitcoin's bearish and bullish cycles against its rising scarcity. Bitcoin, making a new high of 67,000 last week, has opened up the possibility of hitting 100,000 by the end of the year. Plan B, creator of the popular Bitcoin stocks flow model, called Bitcoin's price retracement from the $60,000 level, the second leg of what appeared to be a long-term bull market. Now, if you're not aware of this, you can type in the Bitcoin stocks flow model. It's created by this person called Plan B. He's used a different host of models, and he comes up with these price predictions, and up to date it has been relatively accurate. And what's that showing is that on his stocks flow models, that Bitcoin is due to hit between 100,000 and $135,000 by the end of the year. Whether it will or not is yet to be seen. It depends which technical analysis you look at. You've got some that are saying that it'll be as low as 74 before Bitcoin reaches its final level for this bull run before we head off down into a bear market for a couple of years. But Plan B has always stuck true to his models, and he's believing that yes, we are still going to see a $100,000 Bitcoin at least. Now, it's quite interesting this, because should we not make the 100,000 Bitcoin, then it's going to throw his model into disarray, because there is a lot of people that, because of its how accurate it's been so far, there is a lot of people that have firm belief in it, and there is a lot of people that are banking on Bitcoin getting to 100,000. So the fact that he's then said that because we've retraced to 60,000, this is what it's predicted, his model. And now that what it's doing now is the second leg. So basically he's starting to say, yeah, it needed to go back to 60,000, and because it's gone back to 60,000, this is the key indication that yes, we are still on our way to 100,000. But who knows? Who knows? As I've said in previous videos, the only thing that is predictable in the cryptocurrency space is that it is very unpredictable. So let's wait and see. We never know where the prices are going to go. Could go down, could go up. So yeah, but that was really the only Bitcoin price news or sort of talk around terms of prices. Not much difference than what we've been seeing over the last few days anyway. The only altcoin, again, it's not really anything much of an article. Ethereum gains momentum, why bulls could aim more upsides. Ethereum started a fresh increase above $4,200. Ethereum could gain pace if there is a clear break above 4,250 in the near term. Well, if it's increased above 4,200, why would it not increase another $50? It's just another article. I feel like it's just so that they get the volume of articles out. If something's already at $4,200, it's going to be able to get to 4,250. It's not exactly in the realms of impossible. It's right next door to it. So it wasn't really news, but yeah, that was the only real Ethereum altcoin news. The only other little bit of news that we got was Polygon, which is the Matic coin, is now up 10,337% in 2021, with 92% of hodlers in profit. Now, if you are new to the space and you're not sure about this, what Polygon is it is a layer 2 solution for Ethereum. So with the Ethereum gas fees and the burn that's been happening recently, but with all the continual action that's happening upon Ethereum, what's happened is if you want to do a transaction on Ethereum, the prices have been ridiculous. And I'm talking, you could try and buy a piece of art for $70, and just to transact that fee, that art to get that NFT to buy it, so that it's on your wallet, it's assigned to you, then you could be paying anywhere up to $400, sometimes even more than that, just in the transaction fee. It really didn't make any sort of sense, the amount that's being charged for it, because of the high usage. The more the network is being used, the more volume that's going through it, the higher traffic there is on it, the more the gas fees go up, the more that it costs to do transactions upon the Ethereum network. And hence, because there has been a hell of a lot going on it, and the love and the explosion of the NFT market has seen Ethereum almost become unusable, even though it has been being used, and people have been paying transaction fees. You've just got to be a bit savvy and use it when the network was quiet. It was still quite high, the average transaction fee. So what Polygon do is it's almost like a layer 2 solution. So they act upon the Ethereum network, but at a fraction of the cost of the Ethereum transaction fees. So what you can now do is you can build NFTs and you can sell them on the Polygon blockchain, which is interlinked with the Ethereum blockchain, and that means that the transactional costs come right down, and it makes it more of a viable solution to use the Ethereum network. And that is why I believe that you've seen such a momentous gain within 2021. So if you did buy Polygon at the beginning of the year and you've been on it for a while, well done. I am completely happy for you. I think it's brilliant. I love it when people manage to pick out these brilliant ones that go on these amazing runs through the year, and I can see it carrying on. How well it will hold the price or continue to hold the price if we see Ethereum 2.0, which is where this upgrade of Ethereum is going to happen, and then there's going to be multiple transactions a second and hardly any fees, and it's going to be super duper stable, etc. Whether these layer 2 solutions will still be able to hold that kind of momentum, because they're then not offering anything different to what Ethereum 2.0 can do. We'll have to wait and see, but nevertheless, don't forget that Ethereum 2.0, that has been coming in since 2007, and we are nearly at the end of 2017, and then we're now nearly at the end of 2021. So who knows if it'll ever come in. But until then, you will have these different blockchains that are doing remarkably well with it. And with that being said, that was literally the only price news I could find. I looked through all the different articles, and yeah, because the markets aren't really doing much, then there wasn't really much in print. And with that being said, we're going to pull away from this pit stop and price news, and we're going to carry on the journey. Next up on the journey, this was unbelievably popular news, and I could have pulled up many articles about it. It reads, Tesla leaves door open for resumption of cars for crypto. Another one Breaking: Tesla may resume Bitcoin payments. And it reads, Tesla's quarterly report noted that the company may restart cryptocurrency payments for its products and services. In the digital asset section of the report, the company confirmed purchasing approximately $1.5 billion in Bitcoin towards the end of the third quarter. Furthermore, the report also mentioned that while Tesla accepted Bitcoin payments until March, it suspended its practice in lieu of Bitcoin's unsustainable nature. However, Musk-owned Tesla is back to basics just in time when Bitcoin is outperforming since Bitcoin ETF implementation in the US. So, a couple of things, and I don't understand why this is as popular as it was, because it is one of the most popular news stories of the day. Because, right, so let's break this down a little bit at the beginning. So, when Bitcoin shot up in price this year, it was a lot of it was given to the fact that Tesla came out and said that they had bought all this Bitcoin, and everybody was losing their mind. They're like, oh my god, Tesla are in. If Tesla are in and Elon Musk is in, we are in. Like he's some sort of prophet and he knows best, and they will. It's like it. If he asks you to jump, people will jump, kind of thing. I don't understand the hold that he's got over people in yes, he is a very, very wealthy person. Yes, he is doing some amazing, amazing things with space flight, with electric cars. He's pushing the boundaries. He is a very intelligent person and a very wealthy person. Does that mean that everything that he does, people should lead with blind faith? I don't think so. Nevertheless, with Tesla coming into the market, that's what was given to the rise in Bitcoin and its popularity earlier this year. Now, with that being said, as it said there, in March, well, just after March, Tesla decided that it was no longer going to accept Bitcoin payments, and that was ascertained to the market coming crashing back down and doing a 50% correction back from its all-time high, because once again, everybody seems to think that when Elon Musk does something, everybody else should follow. What wasn't really looked into, well, no, it was looked into. What people didn't care to find out or educate themselves with, that even though Tesla banned Bitcoin for it being unsustainable, because they said that it was about the energy, what you've got to realise is not one car, that's zero, out of all the money that Tesla turn over, all the cars that they sell throughout the year, not one car was purchased with Bitcoin. So they stopped something that they'd not made any sort of transaction with. And now they're starting that back up, and they're talking about starting back up and taking Bitcoin, just as all this euphoria is coming in and all the good news is coming into the market, and they hold a lot of Bitcoin. All of a sudden, it's quite funny that they're going to resume something that they previously stopped, even though nothing has really changed. If anything, the mining rigs may have moved to different energy sources which aren't as sustainable as they were before, with the crackdown that happened over in the Far East, because a lot of the Bitcoin mining was being done on quite sustainable, cheap energy over there, and now it's had to move elsewhere. So who knows what the actual detriment it could be having to the environment, because we don't know how much renewable energy they have actually moved to. But nevertheless, they have started to accept a payment for cars that they had before, and nobody wanted to pay for it. Because why would you want to pay for a car that the moment that you've paid for it? So for ease of use, and say if you was going to buy a Tesla and it was $60,000, and you paid with Bitcoin, and at that time Bitcoin was $60,000. The moment you drive that car off the forecourt, it's no longer worth $60,000. So if you own that Bitcoin and you bought it at $60,000, and 5 minutes later it dropped down by $10,000, would you sell it and think that you've done a good deal? Because buying a Tesla with a Bitcoin is doing exactly the same. It makes no sense. There is no sense whatsoever to buy a car with Bitcoin, because cars don't hold value. Cars go down in value the moment that you buy it. It's a nonsensical approach to buying a car. You just wouldn't do it. So the fact that they've restarted up these payments and everybody's starting to lose their mind, oh my God, Tesla's back on board with Bitcoin. It makes no sense, and I don't understand if anybody will actually ever purchase with Bitcoin. I can't personally see it. I don't know why it's major news, but alas, here we are, and it is, so I will report on it. But that is all I really have to say, and I'm going to pull away from the Tesla pit stop and carry on the journey. Next, in also extremely popular news, and we're going to take a pit stop at the NFL. And it reads, NFL quarterback Tom Brady gives fan 1 Bitcoin for his historic 600th touchdown pass ball. And this was very, very popular news. Like I said, I could have pulled up many articles again. 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady gives a Bitcoin to a Buccaneers fan. And it reads, 7-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady announced on ESPN that he was giving a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan a Bitcoin for returning the star quarterback's 600 touchdown pass ball. However, experts said that if the fan had kept the ball, it possibly could have sold for $500,000. Now, what had happened was basically Tom's thrown this ball. It's being caught by his teammate. The touchdown has happened, and in the end zone, the player that Tom's thrown the ball to has got extremely giddy and thrown the ball to a Buccaneers fan in celebration for the touchdown, not realising the significance of that ball. And the fan got tracked down. It's a fan called Byron Kennedy, and for giving the ball back, Tom Brady has decided to give him a Bitcoin. So yeah, they said that the ball could sell for $500,000, and let's be honest, if you weren't going to give that ball back to Tom, that must mean that you'd want to keep it because you understood the significance. The likelihood, would he have sold it? Possibly, possibly not. Who knows? People do a lot for money. But if you're a Buccaneers fan and it was such a pivotal ball, you probably want to keep it anyway. Nevertheless, he's give it back. So then he's got the good vibe feeling. It means that he's being rewarded with a Bitcoin, which, if he holds on to it, as long as he could hold on to that ball, and it goes the way that the people within the cryptocurrency space believe, that Bitcoin will be worth more than the ball in a few years down the line. I don't know how many years. I'll never price predict to that point. But yeah, if he holds on to that Bitcoin, then it's going to be worth a lot more than that ball. He's then got the good vibe sentiment that he's given the ball back to possibly one of his idols, even though Tom Brady's not long joined the Buccaneers. Nevertheless, a lot of people idolise him and love him in the sport for what he's done. He's an absolute legend within the sport. So the fact that he's managed to give it back, he's probably had liaised with him, had a conversation with him, had a chat with him, etc. He's probably done stuff that he never thought that he'd be able to do and speak with Tom Brady. Nevertheless, and he's probably, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he's now got a kind of a relationship with him, because at the end of the day, it's a good deed that he's done back to him. So yeah, good for that guy. I'm glad that he's got a Bitcoin. I hope that he holds on to that Bitcoin and he sees real profit in it. But if he doesn't and he sells it, well done. You've just got at least $60,000 if you sell it round here. But who knows what he'll do with it? It'll be quite interesting. I tell you what, it'll be quite good to see in 10 years' time if we see a news article saying the coin that Tom Brady gave away is now worth X amount of money. So yeah, I'm waiting to see in a few years whether we're going to get that story. It'll be nice if we do. And to be honest, I don't know how many Bitcoins Tom Brady owns, but he's just teamed up with FTX and done a major campaign with them to entice people into trading crypto, etc. So who knows, maybe FTX has even put up the Bitcoin on his behalf and he's not even had to give any away. But we'll probably never know that. Anyway, I thought that was a good story to cover it. Like I said, it was very, very popular news. That's why it's in the video quite early on and not towards the end. And with that being said, let's pull out of this pit stop and carry on. And our next stop is South Korea. So we're pulling in a pit stop in South Korea, and it reads South Korea crypto, the largest mutual aid association, refutes Bitcoin ETF investment rumors. So the other day we had rumors that there was a unbelievably large mutual aid association that was going to get into the Bitcoin ETFs that have just launched, the Futures ETF. It reads, the Korean Teachers Credit Union, which is the largest mutual aid association in South Korea, responsible for approximately 40 trillion won, which is $34.3 billion of assets as of June, has denied the market rumours about its investment into Bitcoin ETF. While Bitcoin ETF news came as a pleasant surprise to the crypto community in the nation, the follow-up denying any such plans has neutralised the current political and financial landscape in lieu of KTCU's long-standing conservative financial approach. Furthermore, since the country is undergoing a crypto crackdown, an investment into Bitcoin by an organisation as traditional as KTCU appeared as blown out of proportion update. So, yeah, as quick as it comes, as quick as it's gone. What I don't understand is that there is all this hype surrounding the Bitcoin futures ETFs that have come about, and that there has been a lot of money flowed into them, and even on the first day, in similar news to what we've just gone over. Brace for impact. Wall Street is heading straight for Bitcoin, says analysis. Wall Street has previously not been at the forefront of Bitcoin trading in the past. However, that looks poised to change. The approval of 3 Bitcoin ETFs in the past week have brought about more institutional interest in the digital assets, and Wall Street brokers are starting to turn their attention to the cryptocurrency. The first Bitcoin ETF recorded trade volumes of over 1 billion on its first day. This success has not been missed on the radar of Wall Street. So, yeah, it's all the Bitcoin ETF news, because there is so many that are coming in now, because they are literally copy and pasting each other's reports and filings so that they can get it through. There's a lot of attention, there's a lot of money coming into it. Like they said, 1 billion on the first day, and there was talk about this South Korean mutual fund getting involved in it that have a lot of money, and Wall Street are now trying to... What really surprises me though is the fact that the ETFs that are there, they are Bitcoin futures ETFs. And what this means is that all this institutional money that's flowing into the Bitcoin ETF is not technically flowing into Bitcoin, because a Bitcoin futures ETF, it doesn't hold the Bitcoin. It doesn't purchase the Bitcoin. It doesn't have it as its fund. It is just a contract, futures contract. You are buying futures contracts to say that you will purchase it at a set price in the future. So there is no kind of impact on the supply shock. We're not seeing masses go off the exchanges, even though we are seeing masses go off the exchanges of Bitcoin every single day. There's many Bitcoin that are produced. You are seeing them taken off the exchange. The actual futures ETF, it has no bearing on the amount of Bitcoin that's out there. So even if these institutions, such as the one in South Korea, such as Wall Street, start piling into the futures ETF, it should not really have any effect on Bitcoin. Bitcoin will do whatever Bitcoin wants to do. It will go up in price. It will go down in price. It will go sideways in price. There will be a lot of it available at some time on the exchange. There'll be a supply shock of it available on the exchange sometimes, depending on what's going on in the cycles. Nevertheless, it will do what it needs to do regardless of what happens on a futures ETF, because that is not the same as holding the Bitcoin. And I don't understand why there's all this hype and why it's being accredited for the price of Bitcoin going up, but it seems to bring the good sentiments, good time feeling, because there's all this money and institutional value flowing into an ETF related to a cryptocurrency. So I suppose it is good news, but I want to see what might happen should it have an effect on the price of Bitcoin, and they can start moving an ETF and trying to influence the price of Bitcoin. That's what I'm wary of, because if you've got all this money in a futures ETF, then there's always the the want to manipulate the market, and it does happen. We have seen it. It definitely goes on. It goes on in every market. It doesn't, not just the cryptocurrency. It goes on in stocks and share market. It goes on around the world in all different markets. Manipulation. So it's happening within our space, but with all this money now flowing into an ETF, we've got to be extra vigilant that there's going to be a lot of interest in trying to control the actual price of Bitcoin. So it's it's an interesting one, and the fact that it's saying Wall Street is heading straight for Bitcoin. What you've got to remember is you've had the grayscale, Infinity Grayscale, where they have been amassing lots and lots of Bitcoin, and that is basically being a ETF without being a ETF. So that people and wealthy investors and rich people have been able to buy shares within Grayscale, and because they own so much Bitcoin, then it's effectively like buying shares in Bitcoin. Why these companies don't, I've said it before in my videos, why they don't just actually own the asset themselves, I'm not sure, but here we are. But it has seemed to bring a lot of light into the space, the ETFs. We'll just have to wait what comes about of it. But yeah, with that being said, let's pull out of this pit stop and carry on our journey. Next up on the pit stop, it's at Coinbase, and the article reads, Coinbase CEO Armstrong stirs hope for relisting of XRP after throwing his weight behind Ripple. Coinbase boss Brian Armstrong has expressed his support for Ripple amidst the legal battle with the United States Securities and Exchange Commission. The latest comments by Armstrong have reignited rumours among the XRP army that the leading crypto exchange may soon restore XRP trading on its platform. Armstrong has tweeted on the 26th of October that the ongoing battle between the distributed ledger technology firm Ripple and the SEC appears to be going better than expected, and the CEO observed that the securities regulator has come to the realization that attacking the crypto sector and subsequently harming its consumers is politically unpopular. He said it is quite ironic that the crypto investors the SEC claim to be protecting are the ones attacking the agency. Now, I like XRP. For clarity, I do actually own XRP. I do believe in the currency and the blockchain and the stuff that they're going to be doing, just for transparency. But that's not why I've put this article in. I put it in because I find it amusing in one way. That because the SEC, they basically threatened Coinbase for their lending platform, where people were going to be able to lend their cryptocurrency out and see a return upon the lending, which the SEC then saw as a security and said, if you launch that, we are going to prosecute you. And the CEO decided, you know what? That's not the hill I want to die on, and decided not to launch it. So the fact that he's now come out and started supporting Ripple, I think it's a bit, maybe a couple of fingers up at the SEC. Like, okay, so you don't want to allow me to do what I want to do, then I'm going to support other people that are taking you on. And I'm not going to go into the trial between Ripple and the SEC. That's for a different video. But I just find it interesting that Coinbase are throwing the support behind Ripple, and this is ignited because the XRP holders believe that should exchanges start relisting, which they've stopped listing it, but they've not been exclusively told that they had to stop listing it. But they just decided, right, okay, since the waters are muddy and this is associated with Ripple and Ripple are in court with the SEC, we are going to stop listing XRP. But there is a strong belief that should the American exchanges open up XRP to the American market, this is going to see a very, very positive effect on XRP's price, as it feels like it's been below par. It's not been performing to its true potential and is undervalued. So any sort of murmurs like this, and they've said, all right, yep, this is the time. Come on, Coinbase, relist XRP for the US citizens. They haven't done to this moment. I don't know whether they're going to. I don't know whether this is just Brian Armstrong's, stirring some excitement up. But nevertheless, it is good to see, and I think that as a community, we should come together, and the exchanges need to show support to stuff like this. Not because I'm saying the SEC are right or are wrong, or Ripple are right or wrong. What I'm trying to say is that if they come together a bit more and they rally with each other, then maybe there's going to be a forced hand to where regulation should be, or with safety in numbers, power in numbers, and if you all join forces, then the SEC might struggle to bring such actions against you, and then you can try and say, if they can't bring the actions, if you can't beat them, join them, is what I was trying to get at. I was like, where am I going with this? But yeah, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, if you all join up in force and then the SEC can't beat you, they will have to join you, and at that point, surely that is more beneficial for the space. Nevertheless, with that being said, that's all I've got to say on the Coinbase news. I'm going to pull out and go on to our final pit stop. And the final pit stop was popular news as well, and it's not really big news. It was popular. There were a few articles about it, and it reads: British cryptocurrency service provider Crypterium secures registration from the FCA. UK's cryptocurrency service provider Crypterium is the latest crypto firm to secure regulations from the United Kingdom's Financial Conduct Authority. And it reads, cryptocurrency service provider Crypterium has become the latest crypto firm to secure registrations from United Kingdom's Financial Conduct Authority. They officially announced on October the 25th. That the FCA has granted registration to provide cryptocurrency services to local citizens and companies, becoming one of the few companies to have passed the registration process. FCA have been quite strict granting registrations to cryptocurrency firms. So, albeit it's not big news, it is good news. Is another article just reiterating what I've just said, that yeah, there's more access in the UK for companies and citizens to be able to invest in cryptocurrency through a registered platform, which means that it is safer and it is abiding by the laws and it's doing what it should do. And as long as, granted, whenever you do investments, they are always at risk, but this is a safer way to at least invest within the space, but you should always still do your own research. And I just think it's great that we've got more, because they are quite stringent. So the fact that these have got through mean that they are doing what they need to do. But yeah, I just thought it was a nice bit of story to end on, that we've got more access over here in Britain to the cryptocurrency space, and hopefully it'll introduce and entice more people into the space. With that being said, I am going to pull away from this pit stop and I am going to go to the final drive round the prices to end the journey. So here we are. As you can see, it's a slight mixed bag of red and green today, but it's marginal. The prices haven't really moved. Bitcoin still sat at 62,000, down 1%. Ethereum at 4.2 thousand. Binance at $486. Cardano up to $2.18, up 1.5 almost. Solano's knocked back a bit by 2.6%, but they did see a massive rally yesterday. Nevertheless, they are still over the $200 a coin mark. XRP has seen the nice upturn of 3% to 1.13 cents. $1.13, up 3.13%. Polkadot is still having a nice rally. That's up 2% today, up to $45. Doge is sat exactly at the same price. It's just going sideways at the moment at 26 cents. And that wraps up your top 10. But nevertheless, Shiba Inu, it's still going. It's up 14% today. It's trying to knock off another zero off its mark to try, on its way to trying to get to 1 cent. It's a fraction of the cent. But yeah, nevertheless, with the platforms that they're bringing about and that, it's becoming a real contender. It's trying to get into the top 10. I suppose I am going to have to start taking it serious enough because they are, like I said, doing stuff. It's good to see them there. But yeah, with that being said, that's the price news. That's the end of the journey. I'm going to turn the engine off now. I'm going to wish you a very, very good day. Whatever you are doing today, I hope that you do it well. I hope that you succeed, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I've been Crypto Chris. Once again, thank you so much for watching to the end. I really do appreciate it. It means the world. It means that what I'm doing is worth it. And I will see you on the next video.